guys, welcome to another episode of Ask the Zamboni Experts podcast. I have Casey Terreri here, who is a former teammate of mine in the trenches in the American League and is the new ECHL managing director for officiating. Casey, welcome to the podcast.
Great to be here. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Good to see you, man. So, hey, for the people who don't know you out there, you're a Northeaster guy. Give people a little bit of your background, kind of where you're from, your playing background, your officiating background, and kind of how you got today from essentially going from player to coach, from on the ice to now off the ice.
Yeah, I'll just go with the fast forward version. Grew up in Warwick, Rhode Island, smallest state in the country, but big hockey influence down there. So yeah, hockey was life right from the get-go. But yeah, so grew up playing Rhode Island, played high school hockey, got into junior, went from junior to college, played D3 at Salem State up here in Massachusetts. And then once that was over, I kind of didn't want to get a desk job and had a little bit of background in doing like men's leagues here and there with my dad. He kind of got me going with it. But hopped into reffing kind of more full time. There's like, anyone, the people that listen know, anyone from the Northeast knows there's so much hockey up here. I was doing a junior game at 12 and a college game at 7, like 3 or 4 times a week when I was first starting, just trying to get as many reps as I could. And it seemed like I was getting promoted every season from youth to junior to D3 to Hockey East and Atlantic. And then I got a crack to go to the NHL Combine in 2019 and got hired that summer in both the ECHL and the American League. That was 6 seasons ago. And so I spent the last 6 seasons splitting time, but in a increasingly two conflicting paths where I was kind of started heavy in the ECHL. And as the years tapered, I kind of tapered in games there and kind of my game count in the AHL kind of climbed as I was gaining more experience and becoming more of a trusted official, and had a pretty good run at it. And now it's time for a new chapter in the management role. So that's it right
Awesome.
there.
Very cool. So Casey, hey, you brought up your dad. Obviously, I think a lot of us, right, our families are involved in some way, shape, or form. I had the privilege of meeting your dad last year. He works the off-ice crew with the Providence Bruins there. But you also have an uncle who won 2 Stanley Cups with the New Jersey Devils. Can you tell me a little bit about your family's influence and kind of your background there on how that pushed you down your hockey path?
Yeah, so like you said, my uncle played for the New Jersey Devils predominantly for his career, and he signed his pro contract in '86, and I was born in '88, so I kind of enjoyed his career in my elementary school years, I guess you could say. But it was pretty cool. So growing up, he kind of got the starter's role in Jersey, like right around when I was kind of old enough to kind of understand, what the NHL was, and that it was pretty cool to have an uncle playing in the league and whatever. So I would have my dad bought a satellite dish, one of those big ones you used to see on the people's roofs when he became the starter, so we could watch every game. And so we'd have, maybe 10, 12 family members over every other night watching Devils games. So that was a pretty cool way to grow up, kind of being involved from literally my first memory.
Very cool. So,
Yeah.
hey, so let's transition back, from the stripes, on the ice to the office. Kind of how have you gone or how are you preparing, right? Because again, this is still a new role for you here. You've only had it for a couple of weeks. How are you preparing, or what do you think your biggest challenge is going to be from going from on the ice as player to coaching and management kind of role?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing, and probably my initial thought when I took the job, was instead of worrying about one schedule, my own, now I got to worry about, 100 guys schedules there. There's 150 or 60 total guys on staff. So worrying about juggling that many balls as opposed to just worrying about my own schedule and where I have to be would probably be the biggest adjustment. And it's going to be probably a lot to get used to at first, but as referees, we kind of learn how to, work on the fly and be adjustable and figure it out as we go here.
Casey, one more question for you, right? Like, obviously we talked to a lot of different leagues and stuff like that. The NHL, and again, we've been in camps in the rooms together where kind of the message that we always hear is they want to have a standard so that when guys graduate from the ECHL to the AHL to the NHL, the standard is consistent all the way through. With the ECHL being kind of that level where a lot of guys are introduced to pro hockey, how are you approaching it with those guys to get them ready for the next levels?
Yeah, I think that's why like this time of year is so important with the training camps. We kind of started doing them right after COVID ended, and I thought that was a great addition to just get everyone on the same page at the start of the year. You know, you got 40 guys, basically your full-time staff, your core group, all together for a couple days on ice, off ice, going through video. That's probably the most important part is watching all together and then having a group discussion about the standard, what our points of emphasis are going to be, and where we want to really make concentrated effort in becoming better as a group. That way, we're all on the same page as we disperse. You know, I got guys going to league apartments and guys, you know, working out of their home. That way, every night when someone goes to the rink, it's never going to be the exact same, but you're hoping it's as close to the standard was the night before or it was last weekend with a different referee in town. That's the goal.
Yeah, and again, and then with when it comes to ice quality and stuff, right? Hey, at Zamboni, we want to make sure that we have quality ice, especially for these pro rinks across the league. Is there a way, and again, this is really coming from you as a skater and now transition to management, that you guys are looking at the ice to make sure that you have a consistent sheet across not only just the league, but just different buildings throughout the country?
Right, and this is something you and I have talked about as we work together, right? We always talk about, you know, a fast sheet is a really good sheet for a good game of hockey. And when they're playing, it makes our job a lot easier. So it's funny how it correlates. But yeah, you know what? It's different in every rink, and I think with pro hockey being all over the country, sometimes the geography plays a little part in it with the weather outside and all that, and the market you're in. But for the most part, I'd say with especially with the new fast ice, like I noticed you kind of pointed out to me, you know, who has fast ice, who doesn't. So when I'd be in that building, I could kind of tell the difference of, you know, what was a good quality sheet of ice and what was maybe, you know, lacking in some areas, just based on like discussions I've had with you and you teaching me a lot about that stuff.
No, I appreciate that. So I guess my question is your role as manager and you talking ice quality and stuff like that. Are you encouraging the guys, kind of the way we discussed before, to talk to the Zamboni drivers and kind of where soft spots are or things to look out for on the ice? Again, just same way we do our pregame talk in the locker room as far as, hey, these are guys you got to watch out for. Or there's, this team's on a hot streak or, whatever the things that we pregame about.
Yeah, you know what I think, and it's usually it ends up where our locker room's kind of right near the Zamboni tunnel, which is always good. You get to know those guys before the game, have a chat, and I think that goes a long way to build a relationship with those guys, where you can have a good line of communication even during the game, or even like maybe like a little face you might make. They might know that we might need something at the next media timeout, whether it's, you know, a patch somewhere, we need some. You know, to drill a hole in one of the pegs in the net, something like that. It's good to have a good relationship with those guys so you can be on the same page. And like we said, we always just want a good quality sheet.
What do you think, as far as that type of communication, making sure that they have good ice? Is it something that we should communicate more as a team to kind of be prepared for walking into buildings? There's a lot of local guys that work just local arenas, so they know where the hot spots are. Or is it something that there should be a more common conversation as far as, hey guys, do we have to watch out for the goalies pushing off the nets and the pegs essentially pulling up the peg holes there?
Right. Yeah. You know, I would say as the seasons go on, I would say every rink becomes more uniform when it comes to like the pegs and specifically, right? Some used to have those really skinny pegs. So that's important. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's the stuff like a lot of the problems we see, right, is a lot of the stuff along the boards, that type of stuff. So just knowing like, you know, hey, I know these guys are good. I know we can sneak them out at a media timeout. I'm not gonna have to wait till the end of the period for them to fix this. Knowing the quality of your guys there and knowing that they're efficient and quick is also a big part of it because we want to keep the game going, right? We only got 90 seconds for the media, so those guys are running off, running back on. So it's good.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. A little bit more fun side of it. Do you have any kind of memorable stories with the Zamboni where they became the star of the show, or they stole the night?
I remember my first trip to Cincinnati in the ECHL. They had the two Zamboni system, but only one was laying down water because the other one was sponsored by probably a pretty popular chicken sandwich chain. I think you could probably take a guess, but they had taken out the top for where the snow would normally go, and it was just a couple bucket seats for some fans to just be shooting out t-shirts. So I remember seeing that drive past us as we were coming off the ice at the end of the period, thinking, Whoa, pro hockey is a little different than college hockey. This is cool. I like it.
Do you have a favorite building that you skate in? I mean, again, being in the Northeast, is it a local? Is it a home rink? Do you like traveling far from home? Do you have a favorite building?
Uh, yeah, maybe Providence because I grew up there. I got a lot of memories from there. A lot of family memories between my uncle and me having games there and stuff. So probably that one because I got a home crowd there. But if I'm on the road, either Henderson with you, big guy, or Hershey in the playoffs. You can't really beat Hershey. It's probably the oldest market in the AHL. But it's got a lot of tradition. It's a great building, and they really know how to get loud there. So that's a pretty good spot.
Hey, when it comes to young officials, and again, your new role as manager, you're bringing new guys into the league. Do you have any advice for some of the young officials trying to get into the league? I asked the same thing amongst the guys who run the buildings, right? About how does a Zamboni driver kind of progress and get into an NHL level building? How does a guy who wants to make it to the NHL kind of work his way up, and what would you look for bringing guys in?
Yeah, you know what? I think like obviously you got to have the natural talent for it, right? All the physical attributes, the skating and the conditioning and all that. But I think a big thing too is attitude, right? Like it's you see a lot of guys in our business that have all the tools, but maybe sometimes their attitude or something off the ice, not necessarily what they're doing on the ice, might be a deciding factor on whether they get promoted to the next league or not. But I would say attitude for me, because I've even in my experience, I've had counterparts that I would even admit were better probably referees than I was, but maybe I had a little bit of a better work ethic or a better positive attitude than they did, and it served me in the long run where maybe they weren't skating anymore and I was kind of still progressing in my career as I shot up through the ranks. So for me, that's a big thing. And everyone's different, right? Every manager likes to hire differently. But to me, I think attitude is the most important.
Yeah, I mean, listen, hey, you and I have been in the trenches. It's always fun to kind of come in and have some post game beverages afterwards and kind of talk about what happened there. But more than anything, yeah, being a good locker room guy, it's something that's always enjoyable. And again, I've always enjoyed being around you. So thank you for that. But hey, I got one more thing for you. I got a couple of rapid fire questions. If you're up for it, if you can keep up, and
Let's go. Let's go.
we'll kind of go from there, right? So
Okay.
hey, so first of all, first pro game you ever had. You remember where it is and what it was?
First pro game was Worcester, oddly enough, right down the road from me and my uncle at the time. It was still working for New Jersey, and they were a New Jersey affiliate, so he was there. I had a bunch of family there. It was pretty cool.
All right. Last pro game you ever skated. Where was it?
Last pro game was in the playoffs this past year in Rochester. It was pretty heated battle, third round matchup and between Rochester and Laval, and yeah, we had a good one. But I didn't know it was my last game at the time, so looking back on it now, I'm glad I ended on a good note.
Oh, well, always keep your head on a swivel, right? You never know when you could be
Yeah,
done or who's watching in the crowd, right?
right.
Yeah. So go to post game meal. You got to go to post game meal?
Love a good pizza, hey? A little pizza and a
Okay.
couple beverages.
Okay. And have you ever driven to Zamboni or what's the verdict on that? Can we get you up on a machine?
So in college, we were pretty close with our Zamboni driver. We used to pay him to cut our practices short when we were getting bagged at the end there, but he would let us take us. He would let us take it out if there was, kids coming on and it wasn't a big important cut. But so I've driven it once or twice. But I'd say that first lap going around the boards is gonna get pretty dicey there if you don't know what you're doing.
No, for sure, for sure. Do you remember what kind of machine that was?
I don't necessarily. It was that traditional blue and white Zamboni that you see in all the
But
pictures.
you don't remember if it was fuel or electric?
Oh, it was definitely fuel. It was I could
Okay.
smell it. Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Casey, I think that's all I got for you. I appreciate your time. Congratulations on your new role. Again, you've always been fantastic to me. So, again, I'm going to miss being on the ice with you, but I hope to see you around the rinks this year.
One more message, and this relates directly to you, is I just tell guys you always want to be someone that when linesmen like you see yourself on the schedule, they're pumped that you're coming to town, right? That's the sign of a good official in my eyes. So I always loved coming to Vegas to work with you, and it was always a pleasure going to battle, like you say.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. Well, thanks, Casey.
Yep.
I'll see you soon.
Anytime, man.